Hey, it's Elizabeth Lyons, and you're watching Good Company.
Good Company!
Hey guys, my name's Scott Bowling, and you're watching Good Company. Today we have the lovely Miss Elizabeth Lyons, country singer-songwriter.
Yes, thank you for having me.
No problem. Do you write your own music? Like that's pretty cool.
Yes, I do. And also in the Nashville community, there's a big co-writing community. So a lot of all of my songs have been co-written. So
really?
You kind of have this group. It's like a family of people that you write with, and I love it. It's such a great experience to be able to take an idea that I have and bring it into a room and then have us together create something so beautiful and something that ends up being the world can hear it, which is so cool. So.
And you got a brand new single that was just released Friday, Epiphany.
Yes.
That song is huge, right? The
lyrics
are massive.
That song I wrote by myself. I had gone to New Orleans and I decided I had hit a wall, I feel like creatively and in my career. And I went to New Orleans and I decided, I was like, I need to just write by myself and go back to writing by myself and just trying to think about what I want to say to the world and in this next music release. And so I wrote several versions of Epiphany and then ended up talking to one of my songwriters who actually became one of my friends, Georgia Thomas Edgeworth. She's actually a mom too, and she's amazing. She's been in the industry for years and had some great syncs with her songs being played on TV and on MTV and Amazon and Netflix and all this great stuff. So I was talking to her about how I was kind of feeling, and she's like, "It sounds like you had an epiphany." And so from there, we took kind of what I had already and then turned it into Epiphany.
Wow.
So I'm just so excited. It was a long process this time around. I really dove into writing this last year and just focused on writing as much as I could. And I'm really proud of this new music.
How many songs have you gotten written so far?
Oh gosh, that's so hard. I just put out Epiphany. I'm going to be putting out another single called 24 in January. And then I think another song in March called Prove It. So I've got really great songs that are coming out really soon. And I'm just really proud and excited about.
To get where you are from right now, writing a song is pretty hard. So do you write 100 songs and you have maybe a few songs that are good out of that 100? I mean,
Yes. I mean, for me, I'm more of a lyricist, so I really kind of know what I want to say, and usually have the song title or kind of a verse or a chorus when I go into it, right?
Yeah.
But every co-write is really different. Sometimes I won't, someone else will have a better idea of, and then we'll just roll with it. And so every time it's different, but song ideas kind of come to me usually when I'm in the shower, sleeping. But yeah, I mean, I write all the time. I try to write every day and then just see what is the best song. And I usually send the songs to friends and family and then kind of gauge what people are liking and then kind of go from there.
Would you ever write a song and sell it to another country artist?
Actually, my first single, Everything Tonight, another country artist wanted to record. And being a young songwriter at the time, I was like, no, it's my song. And I knew I wanted to record it.
Yeah.
And so I said no. I'm really protective. They're almost kind of like your babies. You're kind of protective of them. But now that I've been in the industry for a few more years, I do think it would be cool to have, one of my songs if it's the right song.
It's hard though, right? Because you write this awesome song, you're like, here you go.
You work so hard in it, and you pour your heart and soul into it. And but one way to look at it is if someone can take that song and more people hear it and relate and make them go through a hard time or whatever. I mean, that's why I do music, is to inspire people and make people happy.
Wow.
And so from that side of it, now I'm more open to it. But a few years ago, I wasn't.
When you were younger, were you raised in a music family? Did you have?
Yes, yes and no. I mean, you know, my mom's really musical. She sings in the church choir.
Yeah.
And so from a young age, I started in the church choir and I started playing classical piano and taking dance classes. And then I moved on to musical theater and was in like 18 musicals. It was crazy.
Wow.
I'm so thankful for my parents driving me to all those
18, that's good.
practices and rehearsals and everything. But my mom is more than a musical person. She loves to sing. My dad played trombone in jazz band. But he's not like a good singer. He can't really dance very well. But he has a good ear. And, you know, they both, my dad had a rule where you only can listen to his music in his car. So growing up, I learned, you know, all the Rolling Stones, like about the Rolling Stones and Eric Clapton and, you know, oh my gosh, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah.
And so I really, like, it was almost like a class on, like, rock and roll and 70s music. And then my mom would always get, like, the top, you know, 40 albums. So I think it was, like, I forget what it's called. But she also had me listening to Carole King.
Yeah.
And which I ended up playing, like, the Tapestry album on piano. And then Madonna and... you know, Linda Ronstadt and like just all these. So I kind of grew up like around, you know, listening to a bunch of different
Were you singing?
eras.
Were you singing like back then? Like when you hear it on the radio, you'd sing out loud?
Oh yeah, I was singing since like I was like a baby. My
So
mom
your parents
says.
kind of saw it. They're like, wow,
Yes,
she
yeah.
sounds good.
And actually, the Epiphany lyric video that's coming out Friday the 8th, November 8th, is it's all home videos. So you kind of get to see, and it's funny looking back, I didn't realize like how musical I was. You know, I would constantly be singing or dancing or putting on shows or making my sisters like be in an act and inviting the neighbors and charging them $1 and selling, you know, concessions. And so I really from a young age have always like been passionate about music. And my great grandpa Al, he lives in Iowa and played in the famous surf ballroom growing up. So he was in a yodeling country band. And so I kind of grew up, and you hear that in my music, like so many influences like of, you know, country, rock and roll, and pop is all infused because that was what I grew up knowing, you know? So, and my sister Gabrielle has an amazing ear for music. And I am so thankful for her because she keeps me, like, if a song's bad, she'll, like, be the first to tell me. And she keeps it real.
That's good. You need something like that.
I know. My other sister is so musical. Like, she's an amazing singer. And I always said, I was like, I would love to be your manager. Like, she's so talented, but she does not like the spotlight. She wants to be a lawyer and behind the scenes. So, but they did an amazing video at my wedding, like a 10-minute song where they rewrote the songs to like Reputation, Taylor Swift, and like a Britney Spears song and like all this fun stuff. And people went wild. I really should put it on YouTube and like it would probably go viral. It's hilarious. So they're definitely songwriters and musical, you know, talents as well. But they're not doing it for, you know, a profession or anything.
And so you started like recording, was it back in, when was it, 2013?
So I moved down to Nashville summer 2010. I was a freshman in college. I was 18. I didn't know it was soul when I moved down there. And I
that's huge.
It was wild.
Yeah.
I lived with 3 girls in an apartment. I didn't know them and just met them through mutual friends. And I interned in music publishing, and I had an amazing boss who I interviewed with, and I was really open. I was like, I really want to be an artist, but I don't know like how to make it or how you do it. Or, you know, I grew up in a community where everyone's like a doctor or like a more professional career, even though, you know, I always consider music that's my profession, right? But I was like, how do I do this? And that summer I caught the Nashville bug, as they say, and saw artists like Florida Georgia Line take off, and saw crews be played to like me and like a few people in an audience.
Wow.
And just see how it just took off.
Oh, wow,
and
that's cool.
So it was
You
really
experienced
inspiring.
that.
Yeah, and so I transferred to Vanderbilt from Wisconsin-Madison.
Wow.
And
were your parents supportive and all that?
they were,
That's
you know.
good.
I actually didn't tell my dad I had applied, and I didn't really think I was going to get in, but to my surprise, I did, and the rest is history. So then I started interning while I was in school, and I kept doing, so my boss would give me assignments, like personally, and he'd be like, you need to go write a song, or you need to go into the recording studio or book a show. And my senior year of college, I released my first EP, Elizabeth Lyons EP.
Is this
this is
one?
it.
Nice.
Yes.
We'll talk about it right now.
I stayed up all night promoting it, and I went to a big public high school of 1,200 kids per grade. So I tapped into my all my friends were in college across the world, and I'd have them just post about it on Facebook or in sorority fraternity groups or clubs that they were in. Or
That's smart.
and just kind of tapped into that word of mouth marketing, and then it started. And became an album. Yeah, it became an album all-time bestseller on iTunes, which was a whirlwind.
Amazing.
And I remember being in class. I was a film major, and I was like, you weren't allowed to bring like a computer into the class, so I had no idea, and like I couldn't have my phone out or anything. And I got out of the class, and everyone's like, "It's charting!" Like, and
oh, that's so cool.
It was cool. It was like right under Jake Owen, and
oh wow, that's amazing.
It was awesome. So, and then from there, I just started booking myself at venues and cold calling and trying to make it happen.
And you opened up for some pretty big people, right? Was this around this time?
Yeah, so I had some big people that took chances on me. Milwaukee Summerfest, which is the largest music festival, they had me play. I opened up for Phil Vassar, and he was the first person I opened up for. And then from there, Ed Warm, who's a big guy, he's helped artists like Miranda Lambert and Dierks Bentley take off. He owns a bar called Joe's on Weed Street, which is the biggest country bar in Chicago, which is where I'm from.
Oh, yeah.
And so he had me play, and that same weekend I was played on Sirius XM The Highway.
That's cool.
For my single, Everything Tonight. And it was just this magical moment, and ever since then, having those two in particular venues on my resume, people were like, "Oh wow!" And then it just kind of skyrocketed from there. And I've opened up for Florida Georgia Line and Kenny Chesney, Blake Shelton, Luke Bryan, and played the country festival circuit at Country Fest, and
that's great.
Lake Shake and Windy City Smokeout and Country Jam. There's so many.
So all these places, though, when you're playing, there's a massive amount of people.
Yeah, there's 50,000 people there.
How do you feel on stage in front of all these people?
I mean, I'm on the opening act, so there's not like everyone's there.
Yeah.
But,
true. Yeah, but still,
yeah,
it's
a lot of people. Yes, and the cool thing is you meet. Like my favorite part is like the meet and greet after, where I'll have these like 2-hour meet and greets where I'll talk, and sometimes I'll lose my voice because I'm talking too much. But like. It's just cool to hear people's stories and hear how the songs touch their heart, or
that's wild.
It's really special. But I love it. It's just, this is what I live for.
That's amazing.
Playing in front of people and hopefully having my music touch their hearts and souls and stuff. So I love the country music festival circuit, and it's cool too because then you meet radio stations and like TV, and everyone in the community gets behind you, which is really awesome.
So I don't know if I have these in order, but you did Party Rules. Was this kind of afterwards?
Okay, so yeah, this was a few years after. I think it was maybe 2 years. I released my first EP in 2012.
Okay.
And I think this one, I think it was 2013. So Party Rules was actually a funny song. My cousins are from Minnesota, and they have these famous like barn parties. And my cousin had posted on Instagram, and she's like, it said #party rules, and it listed all these like kind of inappropriate party rules.
Yeah, okay.
And I was like, this needs to be a song. So I called up my friend Dan Swinimer, who's a Canadian writer, and we actually wrote this song over Skype. He was in Canada and I was in Nashville.
That's cool.
It was really cool. And immediately like everyone like loved this song. And I was in college at the time when I had written the song, so it was so fitting because obviously I was partying and all that good stuff. And this was my first music video that went #1 on the iTunes country.
Was this your first
charts.
video?
This was my second video. Everything Tonight was my first video. That charted 8, but it didn't get up to 1. But it was so cool to see how everyone loved the party rules. Yeah.
And who filmed your video? Like, how do you find all these
people?
So
Everything Tonight was made by Mason Dixon, and I had loved his videos. He did Barefoot Blue Jean Nights by Jake Owen.
Yeah, great song.
And Friday Nights by Eric Pasley, and he did a Jana Kramer music video. And I found his agent's email online, And I emailed her and like cold called and just
Dude,
like
that's so awesome.
was like, I want to work with Mason. And I met with him and he was like, okay, let's do this. So I learned so much from him because obviously he's such a pro. And I'm so thankful for that because then every video since I've learned how to handle yourself on set and all of the like booking locations and extras and makeup and hair, like everything that goes into it. The second video, Party Rules, I worked with John Kemma, who works under a really big guy named TK McTammany, who does like all of like Thomas Rhett's videos, and he did "Girl in a Country Song" by Maddie and Tay, and so I reached out to TK and I was like, do you know anyone like up and coming or because I couldn't afford TK. So, and he was like, you should use John. So John and I hit it off and then we shot Party Rules. And I found this barn out a little outside of Nashville and we shot it there. And I had like my friends,
it's a great
people
video.
in the video. Yeah, my band, it was great. Thank you.
How do you find your band?
So it all started with my drummer, Michael Boris. My boss, when I was interning, saw him play out in Nashville and was like, Elizabeth, you should, hit him up. So I met him. Then I ended up, Robert Williams was my guitar player. I had a few guitar players before him, but I saw him on Facebook and Michael was playing in another band with him. And I was like, he's so cool. Like he just looks like the part.
Yeah.
And so then he joined the band and then they were friends with through church, Chase Gamble, who played with me. And we also had Eric Montgomery, who's now playing with Maren Morris. And then Eric Hovney. And we've had a lot of different bass players that have come in and out of the band. But Michael and Robert have been with me for years. And then this last summer, they went on to go kind of do their own thing. And so I've had a different band, but some Nashville guys that are really great. And I've loved playing with them this last year. So
your band, when you record, is your band in the studio or do you use Nashville people?
So I used Nashville people, but I did use them for, Michael played drums on Prove It, God Moment, and Champagne. And I actually had Robert co-produce with Brad Hill those 3 songs as well. And he played some guitar and did some programming and stuff. Because they had been with me for, I think, like 4 to 5 years, I wanted to give them the opportunity to have that experience in the studio.
Yeah,
which was really great. But prior to that, it's all been Nashville guys.
And so your next album, or one of your albums,
I've Never.
This is a great record. We were talking earlier about this.
It really resonates. I've Never resonates with like everyone. It touches
General
the heart.
Mission. It's so catchy. I was
Thank
listening
you.
earlier.
It gets stuck in your head.
It does. I was like, this is a really catchy song.
Yeah, I wrote that. I've Never's about my now husband. I never thought that I was going to find someone like him. I had been in a lot of bad relationships.
Oh, yeah?
So I just was like...
So this was around the same time?
Yeah, so I had met him and I was like, oh my gosh, like kept talking about how I've never would have thought that I would have found someone like him. Like I was like, oh my God, he's so great. And then I actually wrote this I've Never with Georgia.
Yes.
And she was in the grocery store and she had come up with the hook and she was, in the, dairy aisle pushing a cart and she was like, I've Never, like that's the hook. So
yeah, that's a great song.
Thank you. And that was Macy's iHeartRadio top 3, which was so awesome to be recognized by them and have my song be played on
That's really
all
cool.
of their stations. And that was awesome. And General Mission I wrote about, I was just inspired by the country fans and the country community at concerts and how into it they are, like, and how excited and how they live for these festivals and just putting on a show. And when I'm done playing, I actually go out into the general admission and like
cool.
hang out and listen to, the music. And it was actually really cool. I was with my cousins when I was opening for Luke Bryan, and I had met him that day before I had opened up for him. And we were out in the audience just as fans, and he gave me a shout out, which was really cool.
Oh, that's cool.
And in front of, 50,000 people, it was like, oh my gosh. And I was with my mom and my aunt and my cousins, and we were just so excited. And that's how I wrote Luke Bryan.
Yeah.
So it was inspired by finding someone like Luke Bryan. And my husband is so similar to him. So it was kind of fitting. He's a Southern gentleman and just so kind and smart and funny.
When you have this older stuff, do you go back and listen to your own stuff and try to critique it?
I should. No, but it's even funny. Before this, you playing some of my songs, my old songs. I forget. I'm like, and it's fun to go back and listen. But I need to do that more. I really don't. Sometimes when I'm curating set lists for certain shows, because every show is different, I go back and listen to some of the old ones.
Do you like it? Do you enjoy hearing your voice?
It's so funny listening to myself. I always get so shy.
Yeah.
I've gotten better over the years of just being more confident in the music that I put out and everything, and listening to it and just being this rocks. But yeah, I don't sit around and listen to myself all day.
Yeah, that'd be kind of weird. When you play live, do you where's this confidence come from? Because when you're playing in front of these big stages and opening up for these big people, how do you train for that? I guess it's just over time you get more confidence.
I've been training my whole life.
Yeah.
And not really been training. It's just something that I've always liked to be on the stage.
Do you?
Really,
so you feel comfortable?
With musical theater, I learned so much. I had an amazing children's theater program I grew up going to called Winnetka Children's Theater, and they really helped me with learning how to be on stage and present yourself and be confident.
Yeah.
And when those lights come on, to just be you. And then I had a great program in my high school. We actually won a Grammy at New Trier High School, and a lot of great teachers over the years who've there's always I've never always been the main part. I've always kind of been the assistant part, or whatever you call that. Yeah. But I always had, throughout my entire life, a teacher that believed in me. And I keep in touch with all of them, and who really kept me going in terms of following my dream. Yeah, so I'm thankful for them.
And so when's this new record coming out? Is it going to be like an EP kind of thing? Or
So there's talks about it. We're going to kind of feel out. I have songs for it, obviously, but we're feeling out the vibe of what the feedback is with Epiphany in 24, and then we'll go from there.
Oh, okay. So the feedback. So you let some people listen to it and kind of get
just kind of seeing what the reaction is, and it's definitely a different vibe of what I was doing before.
That's good. You're growing.
Growing and evolving, and so I'm interested to see what the vibe will be. It's been great so far.
Yeah, your single is awesome.
Thank you.
Super strong.
It's really fun to release music. It's one of the most nerve-wracking things, but
because this was a build-up. It was Friday's release date,
and I haven't released music, and I've kind of been on a hiatus because I was really focused on just I wanted to just focus on writing, and so it almost was more nerve-wracking because usually the last few years, it's just been constantly releasing, writing, recording,
Oh, that's
touring.
a good point. Yeah, take some time off.
Yeah, I took some time off.
Yeah.
So I was actually played on a radio station recently who's been really supportive of my career from the beginning, Milwaukee station, FM 106.1. And he said, when they played it, he's like, it's been a while. It's been, she's been on a hiatus. So this release, I was definitely a little bit more nervous about, but I'm so confident in the song, and I love the song, and I love this music. And I just am been ready to get it out.
Yes. One more thing I want to talk about is you singing national anthems all the time. That's so cool. Yankee Stadium?
Yes, I recently did Yankee Stadium, which was a bucket list on my bucket list. That I'm a big believer in writing to-do lists, and so I write a to-do list every day. I write one every week for a month, goals for a year, the year, and for 5 years. And it had been on my to-do list for the last 3 years.
Wow.
And so it was cool. I played a show in Rhode Island, and the head of the marketing department for the Yankees was there, and she's like, we'd love to have you sing. I was like, this is such a dream to come true.
Wow,
and
that's
so
cool.
And it was a playoff game, which was awesome. And to those moments that you work so hard for, I live for those, and I don't get nervous with the national anthems.
You
like,
don't?
No,
Because some
like,
people butcher it, right?
It's funny. In the beginning of my career, I did. I started too high, and then my like voice cracked. But it was one of the first national anthems I ever did, which I'm so thankful for. My whole family was there, like, and but. You know, a lot of people didn't notice, but like I noticed, obviously, in my family who know me. But ever since then, I'm so thankful for that moment, though, because now I never, ever have ever messed up.
Well, at least it's cracked. You didn't forget the lyrics, you know? You're like,
I know. But I really love that song because it honors our country and our veterans and our military, and it's just such a powerful song and such an honor and privilege to sing it every single time. Like, and I've been able to do it at some of my dream venues, like Wrigley Field for me.
Yeah, that's amazing.
My grandfather's a big Chicago Cubs fan, like wouldn't miss a game, and he got to come and see me to do it, which was amazing.
Huge.
And he passed away a few years after that, so it's okay. I mean, but he got to see that moment, which was that's why just you live for this dream, and making it, being a part of it with your family and sharing those moments is so special. And Fenway Park and Miller Park, and last summer I got to do Lambeau Field and Soldiers Field, and so it's so fun. I try to do a few each year if I can.
Oh, that's really cool. And so you're going to be at Eddie's Attic on Monday.
Yes, on Monday.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
I love that place.
I've never been. This is my first time in Atlanta,
Really?
So I'm excited to explore, but I've heard about Eddie's Attic, and Sheryl Crow used to play there, and did John Mayer
plays there all the time. He does secret shows, so he'll just pop up.
Yeah, and NDRE, and so I'm really excited
it's an awesome
to
place.
do that, and experience a piece of history.
Do you like singer? That's a singer-songwriter kind of place. Everybody's like quiet. Do you like doing that?
I've been actually doing that more lately. I played a show in Boston at Loretta's, and it was a singer-songwriter night, and I do love, in the beginning of my career, I did it all the time. Like once a month I would try to do a singer-songwriter round.
Oh, that's cool.
Just because it's a great place to meet other songwriters and people in the industry, and it's just great to test out the songs that you're writing and see what works and what doesn't.
Dude, that's so cool.
So I do enjoy it. It's more intimate vibe, and I love to talk about my music and the story behind the music. So I'm able to do that more in a singer-songwriter night. At a festival, I'm not able to do that as much.
Oh, yeah, that's true. No, I love the confidence. That's great.
Yeah. So it's a good time. But, singer-songwriters, it's nice because people listen though. So it's the audience is a listening audience, which is, there's a difference between when you go to a bar, you kind of have to win people over and make them listen. But
only playing covers at bars mostly, right? So,
I do a mix. What I do when I play a bar, I usually do a mix of I'll play a cover, and then I'll do my song,
That's
and then
smart.
a cover, and then my song.
Yeah,
So it kind of brings people in, but it also introduces my music to them as well.
And also, I love that we got to play today. We got to play your new single.
Thank you.
Yeah,
you killed it.
Oh no, you killed it.
It was
Just
great.
tagging along.
No, and the drums are so cool in Epiphany.
Oh yeah.
I
That
wanted them to
marching
be
thing.
Yes.
I was a little intimidated. I was like, I don't know how to march. But
No, we did a great job. I mean, and that's the cool thing with this song, coming up with all of those parts. And
who comes up with those parts? Is your band? Or
so I worked with a new producer on this one. His name's Johnny Dibbs. He's a young producer in Nashville. He was signed to Disney Music Publishing, and he's really up and coming. He's worked with some great artists I'm a big fan of, Lacey Cavalier and Taylor Edwards, who are also country artists in Nashville, and they've had some success and stuff. So I actually found him and through them, and I messaged him on Instagram, and I was like, hey, do you want to work together? And I love your stuff. And so
dude, you're great at networking, by the way. You got it nailed.
Oh, thank you. I love people and hearing people's stories, and
me too.
And it's obviously happens to be a big part of this industry, so it helps a lot. But really, the root of it is I love getting to know people, and whether it's at the grocery store, or drive-through, or just meeting someone at the airport, it's just always fun. And you never know, you know?
You get inspired.
Yeah, exactly. But so we worked together, and I actually, this time around, I really knew what sound I wanted. So I had sent him some songs that I was like, can you make it like this vibe or all that? And he just took it and did an amazing job.
Oh,
and,
cool. So he like adds his little flavor to it.
So he adds his whole flavor to it, and he, it's all in his like studio on Music Row. And he had some guys come in, like Tyler Cole, who plays with Morgan Wallen. He played guitar, and Jay Allen, I think, played. Oh gosh, I should know that.
You're good with these names, though.
I'm
You're really
trying. He played drums, so and then Johnny did the programming and played keys and guitar, and then
that's cool.
I obviously did the vocals. So.
Was it hard picking out the single? I mean,
yes, yeah. I mean, it took like a year of picking out like what the song I wanted to use was. I worked with Lauren Spahn, who kind of helped create. She would like basically I'd send her songs every week, and she'd be like yes, no, and then we narrowed it down to these ones. So.
Oh, really? It's a bold song. I love it. So
Thank you. It is. It's really empowering and inspiring and anthemic, but also like raw and real and like natural.
Are you gonna do a music video for it?
Yes, it comes out November 22nd.
Oh, it's already finished.
Yes, it's already finished. I shot it. November 15th on iTunes, November 22nd on Vivo. I shot it with Alex Berger. He's a big Nashville guy, and him and his team are like amazing. Like Slater, Braden, and they killed it. So we shot the video in New Orleans. Oh, cool. And since I wrote Epiphany in New Orleans, it felt like really fitting. And so we killed it. I mean, the music video basically. So this song is about being yourself and being true to who you are, and not letting the voices in your head, society, culture, people, social media get you down. And it's so easy to kind of get lost in that. And I think in my career, over time, being in Nashville and in the community, and having so many people's opinions and telling you kind of this expectation of how you should look or how you should dress or what songs you should be writing about.
You probably experienced it throughout your career.
Throughout my career. And I felt like I kind of hit a wall, and it was like, I think everyone can kind of relate to that. It's like, wow, like, I need to refocus on like building my confidence back up and being true to who I am, and going back to like the girl that was in my parents' living room dancing and singing and playing at their piano. And so that's why we did the lyric video of all home videos, because I wanted to be that like child again of when you're young, you don't care what people think. When you're young, you don't think about, like you just do you. And so going back to that kind of child mentality of just like, I don't care what anyone thinks, I'm proud of this, and this is who I am.
That's good.
And the music video part of that, though, is taking time to yourself and working out and eating healthy and, drinking ever more water and like, and just taking that time to yourself, because in this world that we live in, it's so constant, go, 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 go. And taking time to do all of that. So the music video is all about that. It's kind of like a day in the life. And I'm making breakfast, and I'm driving, and I'm walking around, and I'm working out and playing guitar, writing songs, and kind of letting people into my life that has been this last year. So.
It's like you needed all this to get to where it now.
Exactly. Yeah. I think I have no regrets, and I think everything that happens in life is meant to be, and people come into your life at the right times, and the experiences that you have built up to make you who you are, and you just have to own it and live it and keep it going, and then keep the dream going. And my song 24 is about kind of that period of time of not knowing if you're going down the right path, but taking that risk. And when I was 24, I wrote the lyrics in Nashville, and I felt like a little lost. It was like, I had released music, I'd had all these successes, and then, at 24, I wasn't making as much money. I was seeing people's like careers taking off, and like my friends doing things that were more of like a day-to-day type of job, and then I'm like, should I keep doing this? Kind of that questioning, and having that moment where you're like, no, like I need to keep doing this. And every path is unknown, and things come into your life and happen when they're supposed to, and at different times for everyone. And you can't compare yourself to others, and you can't let anything, get you down. It's like having that moment of like, okay, you can feel bad for yourself for like a minute, and then you have to celebrate everything for like 5 minutes. And so 24 is about that
Wow, that's great.
I finished it in New York with New York writers, actually, when I was 27. And it was just this moment of like, I think anyone though can relate to that too, of like throughout life, you never know what's going to happen. And you just have to like do your best and work hard and follow your dreams and what your heart's telling you to do and just go for it.
I feel like you're so talented. You could be like a life coach. You could be like a songwriter. You play piano, guitar. You did like a ton of plays. Is there anything you're not good at?
Oh gosh.
Great at networking?
I'm not a great worker-outer. Like I mean, in the video, I was like, oh gosh, this is a little out of my comfort zone. But, but I still go and I still work it out, you know?
That's good.
But yeah, I mean, I love to inspire people, and I realized like that was what I inspire more people than I thought I did. And so I kind of was like, wow, like I didn't know. So many people have said to me, like, I'm so, like, you were the reason that I followed my dream, and this is like, look at where I am now. And so if I can just be that for people, and through my music, that's the path that I would love to go down and just continue to be that. But also to be real, and like things aren't always perfect. And like, I always try to create a positive approach to life, and all of my songs consistently have had that ray of hope and that kind of like ray of sunshine. And so throughout my career, I've always had that, and I've always tried to keep that. But I think in the beginning of my career, I almost would try to put on this like perfect act of like everything was perfect when like not everything's perfect.
Yeah,
and
nobody's.
you know, especially with this career, you know, a lot of people don't see the behind the scenes of like carrying all the equipment and you know, the porta potties that I've had to change in, or you know, all of those moments. And so I've been trying to show those moments more now through social media, and making sure that people know like it's not just all glamorous and stuff.
Wow. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because you got to keep it real. And I think social media can be I've used social media to launch my career, and I'm so thankful for it. But I also feel like it's everyone's highlight reel, and you can sometimes you know, it can kind of get you down and kind of get you like depressed if you like are on it too much, and taking that time to kind of take breaks from it. I mean, I post on it every day it's my job, you know, and I love it. But also, you know, making sure that you're not getting like lost in all of that, and just knowing that it is everyone's highlight reel. And
it's very true.
Yeah.
But hey, listen, I appreciate you being on the show. This has been
Thank you.
awesome.
This has been so great. I'm so thankful for you having me here today.
Thank you. And thank you for letting me play the cajon
Oh,
on the song.
of course. You're welcome to play with me anytime. I'm in Georgia. You know,
I'll take you up on that.
Like, please. I would love it. It was a great vibe, and your crew was amazing. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.